The fronts of advancing Pohoihoi flows are generally less than a foot high, but can grow with time and continued lava input. This sped-up sequence shows how the thin leading edge advances. A flexible crust forms as the flow slows. It immediately begins to inflate like a balloon, filling with more lava. Time-lapse shots of a Pohoihoi flow advancing show how lava toes bud and crust over. The entire crusted surface inflates together. Incoming lava trapped beneath the crust pushes it upward. If the lava toes do not coalesce at the front, small tubes form that cool quickly and clog. Localized swelling of these narrow flow lobes produces what's known as tumuli. These flows are called hummocky Pohoihoi for their irregular lumpy surfaces. Hummocky Pohoihoi flows are caused by low lava supplies or lava moving over uneven terrain, both of which keep toes from coalescing. Some Pohoihoi flows advance as a series of long, thin fingers, but still inflate together to form a single level sheet flow. Behind the active front, the Pohoihoi inflates several feet due to the development of a rigid crust that remains at the spot where it formed. Here, a Pohoihoi flow filling a small depression grew nearly 6 feet high in just 4 hours. It advances as a series of lobes that inflate to become part of the main flow. By quickly developing a solid crust, Pohoihoi flows can preserve heat and advance great distances. Most Pohoihoi flows tend to advance very slowly, covering only a few hundred feet per hour. Fluid Pohoihoi sheet flows in Hawaii can inflate 15 to 20 feet. While this may seem like a lot, stickier continental sheet flows have inflated as much as 60 to 80 feet. Edges and even fronts of these flows are often mistaken for collapse features. Inflated flow margins may crack and begin to leak lava. Extreme pressure buildup fractures the entire flow front, pushing aside large blocks as a new flow lobe emerges. This is how many sheet flows advance. Lava that gushes from these new flow fronts is very fluid and forms extremely thin flows. The pressure inside the inflating flow can be so high that water is redissolved into the lava. When the lava breaks to the surface, the pressure is released and the water vapor effectively boils out of the lava, creating softball-sized bubbles. As a lava flow inflates, the outer cooled crust expands and cracks. Pohoihoi flows are riddled with these expansion cracks, which can get very wide in large flows. More regularly spaced cracks form in the slow-cooling interiors of thick lava flows. The evenly spaced cracks form prismatic towers called columnar joints. Erosion in older volcanic fields exposes horizontal layers with stacks of 20 to 40 foot thick inflated Pohoihoi flows. Immense inflated flows, 100 to 200 feet thick, can be seen along the Columbia River. These Pohoihoi flows covered much of Washington state 16 million years ago. When Pohoihoi lava moves through a forest, it doesn't push the trees over like an aa flow, but simply coats the trunks with lava that freezes against the much colder tree. Eventually, the trunk burns through, and the tree topples onto the surrounding flow, where it can form an impression in the lava. These two slightly different processes create vertical and horizontal tree molds. Tree molds are typically only found near the edges of lava flows, where they've not been covered. When trees are engulfed by fast-moving channels, the leaves and outer bark immediately burst into flames. The tree itself may remain standing for several hours, causing lava to pile and chill against the uphill side of the trunk. When the lava finally drains away, strange-looking pillars are left behind, often still encasing pieces of the tree. These lava trees are usually found very close to vents. Another bizarre feature seen on Pohoihoi lavas are hornitos. These tower or beehive shapes are built by small eruptions of spatter, far from any primary vent. Hornitos may form either by strong degassing from cracks in lava tubes and flows, or by the buildup of extreme pressure inside a lava flow. These hornitos formed on a flow that was forced to travel upslope. When Pohoihoi flows first pour over cliffs, they form delicate column structures called draperies. Lava stalactites form from the top and slowly grow downward to join the pile of drippings building up from below. Draperies are rarely preserved, as they are commonly buried by later flows. Pillow basalts form where lava erupts underwater or enters a large body of water, such as the ocean or a lake. Pillow basalts are the underwater equivalent of Pohoihoi, but produce much more spherical shapes due to the added buoyancy of the water. During emplacement in shallow water, much of the lava shatters and buries pillows with glassy black sand. Pohoihoi flows and A'a flows have strikingly different appearances, yet are often found forming together in the same lava field. Two things determine the form lava will take: the viscosity or stickiness of the lava, and the shear stress or force applied to the lava that makes it move. Viscosity is simply how resistant a fluid is to flowing. The higher the viscosity, the harder it is to get a fluid to flow. A'a is generally much more viscous than Pohoihoi. Water is a low viscosity fluid that flows very easily. It offers little resistance going over these waterfalls. Lava pouring over falls also gives the impression of a very low viscosity fluid. However, even the fluid lava within Pohoihoi toes is much stickier than water. The viscosity of lava is largely determined by its temperature and water content. The higher these are, the less viscous and more fluid the lava is. Honey behaves a lot like lava. Warm honey or honey mixed with water flows more easily than cold, sticky honey. Lava inside toes that have been cooling for only a few minutes is already considerably more viscous. It quickly becomes tacky and forms spines and needles when it is torn apart, very similar to the rough surfaces of A'a. As lava continues to cool, crystals and bubbles begin to grow in the liquid. Hot fluid lava flows with few crystals and bubbles, as seen in this microscopic view, form very thin toes, often only an inch or two thick. The outer crust is very dense due to the lack of bubbles. As a result, they strongly reflect light, giving them a metallic or steely blue appearance. As the flow advances, gas bubbles continue to form and grow, making the remaining lava more viscous. Eventually, so many bubbles form that they begin to bump into each other, adding to the viscosity of slow-moving toes. The rock it forms can look almost spongy. Bubble-rich toes are several times thicker than dense toes. The stretched tubular bubbles allow light to pass through the glassy skin, giving the surface a bronze tint. As the flows continue to cool, more crystals form and the viscosity increases greatly. Many of the bubbles escape, and the remaining ones coalesce into larger bubbles. Bubbles in the interior of these flows are elongated rather than spherical. Stretched and torn bubbles at the surface give these viscous pohoihoi flows a spiny texture. Slow-moving crystal-rich lava tends to form spiny pohoihoi crusts. If the lava moves faster, the crystals in the lava collide and bind, causing the crust to tear and to form. The tearing force, called shear stress, plays an important role in determining whether or pohoihoi crust forms. How much lava is coming out of the ground, called the effusion rate, how high it goes in the air, and how steep a slope it flows down all influence the shear stress and the type of lava formed. Lava moving rapidly down a steep slope or in a wide channel is being stressed much more than lava moving slowly on flat ground. The faster lava flows, the more it is being torn, and the more likely it is to become The chemical composition of lava, especially silica content, strongly affects viscosity. Continental basaltic lava flows tend to have higher silica contents and higher viscosities than most Hawaiian lavas. Higher initial viscosities explain why coarse, spiny surfaces are more common on continental pohoihoi flows, and why some lavas that erupted onto flat ground produced instead of pohoihoi.